Spokane Community College and got my GED. That was about
There you
the
go.
most important one
There you
for
go.
me.
Outstanding. Who was the biggest influence on you when you were a child?
My sisters.
Your sisters.
Yes.
Was this positive or good? Or negative?
This was good.
Yes. Well, that's good. That's good. And of those people, of your sisters, what was the one moment that you think was more profound than the rest? Like more instructional or something that guided you? What would that moment
I
be?
think it was just everything all together. There wasn't any one given moment.
Wow. Well, that's good that you had that supportive network there. Who was your first boyfriend?
That would be Jeff Bird.
Jeff Bird.
Yes, Bird.
Can we pause this for
Yes.
just one moment? Okay. Okay. Okay, sorry, ladies and gentlemen, about that pause. We had to pause to eat dinner. Okay, we have priorities.
That's right.
Anyway, describe how you met your husbands, and when Harley and Autumn came about. And
Well, I have two children, Autumn Lynn Baxter and Harley David Ronald Miller. You'll notice they both do not have the same last name.
Yes.
When somebody irritates me, I can put whatever last name I want to on their children. My first husband, Michael Baxter, we were married for almost 2 years. I married him when I was pregnant with Autumn because her dad was in jail. He did that a lot. You know, we lived together first. And he was in jail, so I married one of my best friends. He was great as a friend. We didn't do well as a married couple. I should have kept him as a best friend and not as a husband. But other than that, he was okay.
Great.
And then the kids' dad got out of jail, and we got back together again, and I had Harley, and then he went back to jail again, and then he disappeared for 12 years. Almost 13 years. Everybody thought he was dead. He's still around Spokane now, though. He's not dead. He's just a butthead. He uses drugs a lot. He fried his brains out. But other than that, that's about it.
great. That's a colorful past, is
Yes,
what you would call that.
That was my colorful youth.
Yes. What's your favorite memory of your mother?
My favorite memory of my mother? Oh, that would have had to been when I turned 19 and she took me out to the bars in Clarkston to show me all the places I should never ever go again. She stole me an 8-ball off of a pool table. I still have it. It's in my box of mementos.
Oh my goodness. There you go. What's your funniest memory of your father?
Trying to describe the difference in what the military was like when he was in the military and what a deferred enlistment was. He didn't think they had such a thing. He thought I made it up. That would have been my funniest memory of my father.
Knowing him, I bet that would have been funny.
Yes.
Where were you when JFK died?
We lived on 8th and Oberlin in Spokane, Washington. And I wasn't that old, but I remember because I remember everybody crying when they heard about it. And that stuck in my mind.
Wow. That would be interesting. And I have no idea if you were around when the moonwalk happened.
Oh, yes.
You were? Okay. Then where were you and what were your thoughts at that point?
I thought my mother was being really weird because she made me sit and watch it. Now, as an older person, I can realize what a great thing it was to sit and watch that on TV when he landed. And we were living in Spokane at the time.
Wow. That's cool that you got to see that. I've only seen reruns. Where's the farthest place you've been away from where you live now?
Monticello, Iowa.
Iowa. And
Yes.
what took you there?
I went with a friend out to see his family. We were thinking about living out there, and there's a lot of tornado warnings that go on there, and there was a lot of cornfields. Lots of cornfields. They went right up to the edge of this little town. They had 2 payphones in the town.
Ah.
Yeah, it was an interesting place.
There you
I
go.
came home.
Shocker. What year did you move into the house you're currently living in? And if you had several other places you lived, Describe them.
Well, the place we're living in now, Autumn and Harley and Autumn's daughter Rhonda and I live there, and it's in Airway Heights. We moved in January of 1998 this year,
Wow.
and I've lived in like dozens and dozens and dozens and into the multi numbers for homes. It'd be hard to name all the places in Spokane, in around Spokane, Newport, Milling Falls.
And of all of those dozens and dozens of places, which was your favorite?
Which was my favorite? That would be the house that we lived on Dalton, just off of Crestline in Spokane when I was a baby.
Wow.
Because to me it seemed like a huge, huge house.
Uh-huh.
I was only like 2 years old when we lived there. I loved it.
Great. Go into detail about your immediate family. Sons, daughters, their...
Like I said, I have 2 children. Autumn Lynn Baxter. She is right now 21. She was born October 7th of 1976. She has a little girl named Rhonda K. Baxter, who was born July 10th of 1997. And then I have a son named Harley David Ronald Miller, and he was born May 5th of 1983.
Wow. And I trust he is not yet a father.
No,
Okay.
not that we know of.
Yeah, I have no idea. What jobs have you had, and which was your favorite?
What jobs have I had? I've done everything from meat packing to waitressing, office work, doing management, and the last thing that I did was outdoor amusements, and that was the most fun.
Most fun.
It wasn't the most interesting, but it was the most fun.
Yes. I remember you didn't like working at Keytronics.
No,
I remember
didn't.
that.
I didn't like working at Keytronics when I worked there.
Yes, I remember that part. What community service have you done, if any?
I have done volunteer work with the Red Cross, like when they had the Spokane's firestorm. I did telephone work there and directed calls and helped people get through to where they needed to get through to.
Great. That's cool. Who was your favorite singer when you were in high school?
When I was in high school,
Yeah.
that would have been Kenny Rogers. I thought he was the best singer there was.
Kenny Rogers.
Yes, Kenny Rogers.
Yes, I've listened to many of his albums. Who was your favorite actor in high school?
I really couldn't remember.
Really?
No.
Mine was Arnold Schwarzenegger. He was very cool. If you could go anywhere in the world, where would it be?
Anywhere in the world?
Yeah.
Oh, I would have to say Alaska in the summertime.
Oh, outstanding. Very adventurous. It's a beautiful area out there. Are you talking along the islands or in the mainland?
In the islands.
In the islands, yeah.
Yes.
It's a beautiful area. If you won the lottery, what would you do with it? And we're talking like millions of dollars.
Millions
here.
of dollars?
Yes.
What would I do with it?
Mhm.
I would build. My sister Kathy and I talked about this. We already knew what we would do with it. I would build a shelter for homeless families
Wow.
to start in, like apartments where they could go in there and help them get started finding a job, a place to stay, some place where they had a safe place for their children to do with a clinic in it, and eventually get smaller, like duplexes or something, where after they've gotten their job, they can step up into that and then work their way out of it.
Great.
And that's what my sister Kathy and I always talked about being able to do.
Outstanding. That's a very honorable goal there. That's very humane of you. What advice would you give your great-great-great-grandchildren if they could hear you today?
Get the best education you can get. See all of the world that you want to see before you settle down to marriage and children. And make sure you get to know anybody you decide you want to marry well before you marry them.
That's very good advice. If you could spend one day with a famous person, whether that person be alive or dead, who would it be?
Oh,
Has to be somebody you'd want
has
to
to be
spend some time.
somebody.
Yeah.
Uh, one person that's famous. I would have to say I would want to get to know Beethoven.
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 Outstanding choice. Yeah. If only he had like hearing aids, right?
Yeah.
That'd be great. I mean, he could play for you. That'd be great. Well, that's a very good choice. Very good choice. Okay, and right now I want you to take the time to say anything you want to, because this is going to be viewed by audiences down the road for forever. So say whatever you want to, whether it be about yourself, about what your life is about now, or it's all up to you. Go ahead.
Just that I think this is a neat idea that you're doing this, even though it made me nervous getting in front of your camera, because one of the biggest things that was a letdown for me is we always kept saying we wanted to get, back then, cassette tape players, and have people tape their stories that they would always tell, and we never did. We should have.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Because all the times that we sat and listened to people tell their stories, and we thought we would remember them. You don't.
Yeah.
So, best advice, either get a tape like this or even one of the audio tapes and tape those stories, because they mean a lot.
Yeah. That's a very good idea. Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye. You did very well.